Alrighty. Oh, my TV's not on. All right, we're going to go ahead and call to order the Oakdale City Council meeting for October 10th, 2023. Sarah, will you take the roll?
Councilmember Herr.
Present.
Councilmember Ingebrigtson.
Here.
Councilmember Morcom.
Here.
Councilmember Willenbring.
Here.
Mayor Zabel.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council members, in front of us, we have a slightly amended agenda. What do we got on there? One additional consensus item. Council members, can I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Motion a second. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that agenda is approved. Next up, we have approval of minutes. We got two sets tonight. First up, workshop minutes from September 26th. Council members, any changes or corrections? I'll look for motion.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Final comments. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And those minutes are approved. Next, we have regular meeting minutes from September 26th. Any changes or corrections? I'll look for motion.
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Final comments. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And those minutes are approved as well. No public hearings tonight. That's good. Next up is open forum. This is an opportunity for anybody in the audience to share with us whatever's on their mind. Before we get to that, we got two proclamations and a business recognition item. First up was a proclamation the city issued recognizing Burns Insurance Agency for their 10th anniversary doing business here in the community. They had an event on the 4th, what's the last Monday? Monday, yeah. Tuesday. Sure, yeah, we'll go with that. It was a fun time either way. But it was nice to get out there and chat with Bill Burns. You know, all of us here at the city are quite familiar with Bill. He chairs our Economic Development Commission. He's very involved with the Oakdale Area Chamber of Commerce. So it was a really nice opportunity to go out there and recognize his business. So congratulations to Burns Insurance Agency. We also have two proclamations tonight. I'm going to flip the order here just because we have guests to accept the first proclamation. So we'll start with the proclamation recognizing Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity due to the systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, and psychological and economic control and or abuse. And whereas in this country, it has been estimated that every 9 seconds, a woman is beaten by an intimate partner, and in more than half of those instances, children under the age of 12 are present. And whereas more than half of abusers responsible for domestic violence-related fatal shootings were prohibited by law from owning firearms. And whereas domestic violence does not discriminate and crosses all economic, racial, gender, educational, religious, and societal barriers and is sustained by indifference. And whereas the City of Oakdale is working to improve the overall response to and the reduction of domestic violence in our region with awareness to the cultural differences in our community. And whereas domestic violence is one of the most dangerous calls for law enforcement and the safety of those involved along with the community. And whereas October is nationally recognized as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and on Thursday, October 19th, 2023, we encourage the community to wear purple to create awareness about domestic violence in our community. Therefore, I, Kevin Zabel, Mayor of Oakdale, Minnesota, do hereby proclaim the month of October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Oakdale. We also have a proclamation tonight regarding Dyslexia Awareness Month. Whereas dyslexia is a language-based learning disability that affects approximately 1 in 5 people, regardless of race, gender, age, or socioeconomic status. And whereas neurological in origin, dyslexia affects the way the brain processes information and is characterized by difficulties in reading, writing, and spelling, despite normal intelligence. And whereas those with dyslexia benefit greatly from specialized assistance and from highly trained teachers, multisensory learning programs, and individual instruction. And whereas raising awareness of dyslexia and its signs and symptoms can better equip students, parents, and educators to address the challenges it presents both in school and at home. And whereas early identification, alternative instruction, and extra support from family, friends, and teachers can contribute to the success dyslexia students enjoy in the classroom, in life, and later on, and in employment. And whereas all residents are encouraged to offer support to those affected by dyslexia and recognize the dedicated efforts of those who are working to raise awareness and understanding in order to initiate early assessment and intervention to achieve the best outcome for the student. Therefore, I, Kevin Zabel, Mayor of Oakdale, Minnesota, do hereby proclaim October as Dyslexia Awareness Month in the city of Oakdale. We are joined tonight by three individuals here to accept the proclamation, three individuals from the Minnesota chapter of the national nonprofit Decoding Dyslexia. Executive Director MJ Bauer, their partners for parents coordinator Kia Knox Banky, and board member and Oakdale resident Rachel Peterson. If you would like to join me up front, we'll bring the council down and you can accept the proclamation.
Can I just say one word?
Absolutely, please feel free.
This slide? Yep. Thank you, Mayor Zabel. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of the council members. As we read, I'm the executive director for Decoding Dyslexia. Many of you may have a child or a family member who has dyslexia. 1 in 5 children do. And the work that has been done in Minnesota is amazing. And 2 of our key players, a member of our board of directors and a member of our staff, were very key players in helping this year to pass an enormously important bill in the legislature called the READ Act. So we appreciate this recognition, and we appreciate the work that residents of Oakdale are doing as it relates to this particular cause. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Council members?
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
We are still under open forum time, so if there's anybody in the audience that would like to share anything that's on their mind, please feel free to step on up to the podium. All we ask is you state your name and address for the record, and then share whatever is on your mind. Seeing none, we're going to keep things going and move on to consensus motions. Council members, in front of us, we have A through G. Are there any that council members would like to pull for individual consideration? Hearing none, I'll look for a motion.
Make a motion to,
Go ahead.
make a motion to approve consensus motions A through G as presented.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, final comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Consensus motions are approved. Next up is our opportunity to check in with our advisory boards and commissions. First up is the Economic Development Commission. Councilmember Herr is their liaison, and they met last week.
Yeah, it was a great group. Bill had the night off. He was celebrating his 10-year anniversary or his work anniversary. So Dave stepped in, and Max went through the BREA, the business retention report that Kim O'Brien had put out, and then they also covered the commission work plan for the next year. So good conversations all around, and I think they're ready to get working in 2024. So
They're going to be busy.
yes, they are.
Good deal. Thank you, Noah. The only other commission that met was the Planning Commission. Councilmember Ingebrigtson.
Planning Commission heard a CUP amendment for Twin City Towing. The Planning Commission, I believe, voted 5-1 to deny the application.
Is that everything?
That should be it.
All righty, thank you. Moving on, award of bid, nothing. Staff reports. Community development, we got 2 items. Community Development Director Gitzlov is here to walk us through the first one, Forefront Commercial Property Site Plan Amendment. Take it away, Andy.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council. Queuing up a short presentation for these next 2 items for you. All right. Thank you for your patience. So the item before you this evening is for the Forefront Commercial Property, a site plan amendment for their commercial site located just north of County Road 14 and just to the west of High Point Drive. This property is zoned a planned unit development. And if you may recall back in January of 2023, the developer had 2 site plan options approved, site plan option 1 and site plan option 2. Site plan option 1 is the one that had the National Grocer as part of it, and that's the one they're proceeding with. An amendment is needed because there are some slight deviations from that approved site plan earlier in the year. The graphic in front of you here, this is the original site plan and highlighting just the 2 areas in red where changes to the plan have been made that we're bringing forward in this amendment. I'll go through each one of these. The first one is the grocery store layout itself has been shifted slightly to the north within from 30 feet to 10 feet setback. Staff finds this acceptable, especially because it allows for a more preferred parking arrangement. Number 2 shows a future expansion area for Aldi. This is part of their model for growth is to have that going forward. 3 is counting additional parking on the south side of the building. 4 is realigning that intersection to really line up square and flow better at the request of City Engineering. 5 is the main parking area, reorienting the parking for a better improved pedestrian circulation. And then if we shift over to the other side of the development, this is for the coffee shop location. The coffee shop has been reoriented to accommodate a drive-through. Number 6. Number 7 would be the actual drive-through lane itself. And number 8 is a slight reduction in parking from 28 to 16. 16 still satisfies the city's parking standards. On the screen on the left is the rendering for the grocer, which would be an Aldi facility. A couple things to note here. Staff did work with them, and we did for both of these some research of just corporate standards, other Aldis, to make sure that this is a plan unit development, a high quality product that's coming through here. So they did make a lot of our suggestions and changes and incorporations. One on the lower left-hand corner, the west elevation, we did ask for some windows to be placed there, but because of where their internal refrigeration units are located, could not be easily accommodated. So our staff condition is to add some additional landscaping above what's required in the ordinance in that area to break up that wall slightly. And on the right side too, there's an example of the architecture as well that would be included for the coffee shop. Oh, I'm sorry, that's my last one. So just to wrap up here, staff does recommend approval of the site plan amendment. And in the resolution that's before you, there are 12 conditions. So I'll just summarize those really briefly that staff's recommending. And I will say it's quite a bit of conditions. Part of this is we've talked with the applicant already, and they're here tonight too, and they find these acceptable. We wanted to keep this moving along, felt that they could revise these plans, after the council meeting, as opposed to, putting it off to a future meeting. So with that, the updated conditions are, we like to see the plans for the trash enclosures to make sure they comply with ordinance. We'd like some additional pedestrian striping. to be incorporated in the drive aisle, serving both the grocery store and the coffee shop. And condition would be a separation buffer and install landscaping between the coffee shop and the nearby sidewalk and High Point Drive. They look a little tight there on the graphic. Asked the developer to include an outdoor patio area for the coffee shop. Another one of our researching of other locations has been a pretty standard element in other projects. Additional landscaping, again, as mentioned, on the west side of the grocery store for enhanced screening. We've asked the developer to prepare and record an association document for the shared private site improvements, access, and utilities. We've asked them to obtain the necessary encroachment agreement for grading utilities in the pipeline easement that cuts north-south through the site. Number 8, developer establish an easement over the sidewalk along High Point Drive to allow for public use. Number 9, obtain approval from Washington County for the stormwater infrastructure located in the right-of-way along 34th Street. Number 10, developer pay to restripe the left through arrow at the Hopkins Place North intersection with High Point Drive. And that's already covered under the existing development agreement they have. Number 11, obtain approval from city engineer for the construction plans for water sewer and storm sewer. And lastly, developer should provide an updating landscaping plan to reflect the site plan amendment. Yeah, as happy to take any questions, as mentioned, the applicant's also here if you have any questions for the applicant.
Thank you, Andy. Council members, any questions for staff right off the bat? Or the applicant? All right, let's get after it. I'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt Resolution 2023-104, approving the amended site plan for the forefront commercial property with conditions included in the attached resolution.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second?
Motion and a second, final comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that plan amendment is approved. Go forth and build. There we go. Mr. Getzlaw, have you taken the next one as well?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll take this item. This is for the purchase of a restroom facility for Romtec, Inc. in a total amount not to exceed $129,890 through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement for City Project 2023-04, Willowbrook Commons Park until we rename that park in the future date. I will note before jumping into this that although I'm presenting, this is really us working together as community development with Public Works, since they will be the ones that will be responsible for the maintenance of this long term. Just want to note that off the bat. So Romtec itself is a reputable pre-engineered restroom building company. They've supplied buildings through other cities, other counties throughout the metro. It's a product that's durable and has been proven to hold up in our Minnesota climate. The Romtec materials we purchased through the Sourcewell cooperative contract. This allows us to lock in pricing now for another component of the park, so it gives us some more cost certainty as we approach construction early next year. And also, by doing the purchase separate, you avoid markups that sometimes come from manufacturers, contractors, or vendors through the process. And the Sourcewell contract itself ensures we get competitive pricing. The purchase order through Romtec includes the signed engineering drawings. It also includes the major building materials, which are shown here on the exterior, as well as the interior, all the fixtures, the sinks, the faucets, everything is built into that number, and that would be basically a 2-bathroom, 2-stall setup, and then a mechanical room in the back. A couple other things to note. This design should look familiar because it's the same one that we presented back at the April 11th council workshop for feedback. In the contract itself, we have built in an extra, we're asking for authorization for an extra 10%. We don't anticipate needing to use that, but in case there are design changes or customizations, we want to be able to have that without necessarily having to come back and add additional time. This particular purchase order, which isn't uncommon, they do require 20% of that payment is due at the time of purchase, and then the remaining is due 30 days after delivery. We have updated the cost estimate for the overall park, which includes the prefabricated restroom structure, and it is consistent within the budget. That's in the CIP of $2,939,000. We do anticipate returning to council later yet this year for another separate purchase for the gathering shelter and the picnic shelter. And then we would also come back for approval of the final design plans before we take those out to bid. Just a note on project financing. Sources for project financing, the first $1.5 million of this project in 2023 include transfer in from Park Tool, previous transaction proceeds, as well as a special project fund, and then park dedication fees that we've been receiving from the various developments as of late. So sources for project financing in 2024 are going to include that outdoor recreation grant that the city was awarded, and then from the DNR, and then staff continues to recommend use of tax abatement bonds as the mechanism to fill that balance. But that's something that is ultimately a council decision and would come back at a later point for. And that's, I'm happy to answer any questions. And Jim is also here too as well if there's any questions about the materials in the building facility.
Thank you, Andy. Council members, any questions for Andy or Jim? All righty, let's get a motion.
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt Resolution 2023-103, approving the purchase of a restroom facility from Romtec, Inc. in a total amount not to exceed $129,890 through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract for City Project P2023-04, Willowbrook Commons Park.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, final comments. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And Commons Park has a bathroom. If that's all we do in this job, you know what? We're pretty good. Time to check in with our city attorney, Mr. Thompson. Jim, anything?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, nothing specific to report, but happy to answer questions.
Council members, any questions for Jim? All right, let's turn the other way. Check in with our city administrator, Chris Volkers.
Hi, Mayor, Council. I have two things before you tonight. The council decided a while ago that we would proceed with changing the franchise fees to, from our cable, our gas and electric companies used in Oakdale, to a percentage rate of 3% versus a flat fee that it previously was. And that would make it more equitable among all users. It'd be the same percentage usage franchise fee. So what you have is two things, two of the three utilities before you. The first one is North St. Paul Electric. We're asking for a couple motions here to approve the ordinance change, granting the permissions for North St. Paul to continue to provide electric to the homes that they do, or I think they're commercial businesses that they home. So, okay, whoever they provide it to in Oakdale, there's not that many of them. And then, so we're asking for that approval. We're asking for the publication by title and summary approval, and then setting the franchise fees at the 3%. There's two motions that go with that. The second one before you is for the CenterPoint Electric Energy. So they provide gas to some of the, is that the commercial?
Commercial business.
Commercial, see, I knew one or the other, in Oakdale. And so the first motion before you on that, though, is to set the franchise fee, and the second one is for the publication of the summary ordinance of the, by summary and title for the ordinance, excuse me. So that's what's before you tonight, are the two utilities of three. Excel will be coming next.
Okay. Council members, any questions?
Yes, are we just gonna kind of blow through these?
We'll take
or-
one at a time. Yeah, we have to because the title and summary requires a supermajority vote.
Okay, so, but no conversation or further presentations from Chris?
I don't have anything further. I'm glad to answer any questions.
After each motion, we'll open it up for comments or questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like we normally do.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, that's, okay.
Yep. So for the first one under A, can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt ordinance number 907, granting certain permissions to North St. Paul Municipal Electric Utility for the furnishing of electric energy to the city.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second, comments? Any comments? No? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? And that one is approved. Next is the resolution for title and summary. Can I get a motion?
I would like to make a motion to waive reading and adopt Resolution 2023-100, authorizing publication of ordinance number 907 by title and summary.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Final comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is approved as well. Next up, we'll tackle ordinance 908. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt ordinance number 908, setting a franchise fee on electric operations within the city of Oakdale, North St. Paul Municipal Electric Utility.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Comments?
I have a comment, two
Councilmember
comments.
Willenbring.
So I'm going to vote no, as you're well aware, probably. One reason being the definition of gross revenue is not defined and transparent enough to determine what number that fee is calculated on, the 3% fee. That's one. The second comment I have is, in this economy, adding even another $4 to $5 on someone's bill on a monthly basis, in my opinion, is not fair and is not a good idea at this time. Middle class and working class families are struggling as it is. Even the loaf of bread is $5. That's one fee on an electric bill. So I am not interested in raising fees on anything in this climate. That's just my comment.
Council members, any other comments? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
No.
And that ordinance is adopted 4-1. I'll look for a motion on title and summary for 908.
I'll make a motion to, sorry, Andy.
No, you got it.
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt resolution 2023-101, authorizing publication of ordinance number 908 by title and summary.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? And that is approved as well. Finally, we have ordinance 909 regarding CenterPoint Energy. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to waive reading and adopt ordinance number 909, setting a franchise fee on natural gas operations within the city of Oakdale, CenterPoint Energy, Minnesota Gas.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second, comments?
Same comment.
Anybody else? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
No.
And that ordinance is adopted 4-1. Finally, title and summary for 909. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to waive reading and adopt resolution 2023-102, authorizing publication of ordinance number 909 by title and summary.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? And that is approved as well. Next up, council presentations. Who wants to go first? Anybody?
Nothing from me.
Nothing from me either.
Nothing down there? How about down here?
I'll go.
All right. Councilmember
Just want to kind of let our residents, make our residents aware, on the Minnesota Department of Commerce website, there is a section for unclaimed property. A lot, yes. And just Google search Minnesota unclaimed property and the page will pop right up, search your name. And I know I spent maybe a half an hour yesterday just searching random people I know. And in fact, there was a friend of mine, her brother, her sister, and her mom were all, and several over $250. So she was appreciative of the phone call, needless to say. So just wanted to make people aware of that. Get on there and search your name, and the form is very easy to fill out. Just take you a matter of minutes, you mail it in, and it's my understanding they just mail you a check. So,
Can I piggyback on that? So
Sure.
a little explainer. So anytime a business owes an individual money, if they can't reach the individual, they're required by state law to send it to the state. And the state holds on to it for however long, but often everyday people just have no idea that this money is out there. I had a friend who I found money for him because I looked him up also, and he lived at an address, and the bank, he overpaid a mortgage, and there was extra money from the bank just sitting there. It was one of the big banks even. He moved, couldn't find him. You know, they don't have to try that hard. filled out one form, got a check. I mean, and so, I mean, this is individuals' money. Like, they've paid this money that a company tried to give back and couldn't find them. So the state can't keep it, the state can't spend it, but they don't have to work too hard to try and get it to either. So we encourage everybody to go out there and look, because there is a lot. I mean, millions and millions of dollars. So,
Yep,
Times
and,
two, it's a beneficiary
yep,
that's
absolutely.
not aware of it.
yep, and it is crazy how much is out there.
So take a look. Who needs Powerball? I mean, this might be your own money just sitting there waiting for you. So, Jake, anything else?
Nope.
All right, I got a few. Our final Oakdale Farmers Market is tomorrow. That's hard to believe. Wednesday, 2 to 6 p.m. in City Hall parking lot. It is fall. It's time to wrap up those great farmers markets, but still lots of great local vendors out there, so please stop on by. Oakdale City Hall parking lot, 2 to 6 p.m. Also mark your calendars for the indoor market, which will be returning to the Discovery Center starting November 11th. So we won't be without a market for too long, and we always have great vendors there at the Discovery Center as well. So please stop on by tomorrow, Wednesday, and then we'll see you on November 11th. The city Scott Carver buckthorn removal project is set for this Saturday, October 14th, beginning at 9 a.m. at the Nature Preserve. We still need a few more volunteers, so if anybody has a few open hours and want to join us, please just swing on by, and we will put you to work, but we'll also feed you at the end. So it starts at 9 a.m. Even if you can only come for an hour or two, it'll be a good time. It is weather dependent. I think there's some rain in the forecast, possibly Friday, maybe Saturday. So any changes will be on the city's website and social media pages. We will let you know, but yeah, come on out there. Also, staying on the topic of buckthorn, we have one more date for the city's complimentary curbside collection of buckthorn. So if you want to participate, the last date that the city will pick up is Tuesday, October 24th. So if you want to be on the pickup route, you have to complete the collection waiver by Friday, October 20th. So you can go to the city's website, oakdalelemon.gov. It's on there. You just fill out the form. The Public Works crew will get you on the route, have it out to the curb, Monday afternoon, evening for Tuesday pickup, and they will take care of that for you, no cost. Going back up, the Maplewood Oakdale Lions Club is hosting their first ever Halloween decorating contest, and registration is open until this Sunday, October 15th. Homes will be judged for prizes in 3 categories: scariest, most creative, and best effects. For more information, check out the Oakdale Maplewood Lions Club Facebook page. All information about registration is there. So get decorating and sign up. That's kind of a cool new offering that the Lions Club has. And then finally, nominations for Oakdale's Volunteer of the Year award are now open. Each year, the city recognizes an individual that has gone above and beyond in their efforts to get involved in the community and help others. So help recognize a deserving volunteer by completing the online nomination form on the city's website by October 31st. We have so many great volunteers in this community that do so much. So they deserve to be recognized, and it's always a cool annual tradition to bring them in December and recognize them for the amazing work they do in our community. Time to pay the bills. We have a claims roster in front of us, September 27th through October 10th, 1.8 million and change. Council members, can I have a motion?
I'd like to move to approve claims for the period September 27th, 2023 to October 10th, 2023 in the amount of $1,822,889.20.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Final comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The bills are paid. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you and good night.